That doggone Russell Wilson, dog. I hate him, dog. I hate him. I don't like nothing about that guy.
Not Russ. Not
Yeah,
let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride.
always got the right thing to say. You know, I never forget in 2014, Green Bay, they come back and beat Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. And this asshole had the nerve to say, oh, God was on our side. But the guy don't like the Packers? Get the fuck out of here, Russell.
Welcome everybody to another episode of On My Sports. Once again, it's your boy J as always, and with me once again, ladies and gentlemen, my main man 𝒮𝒏 𝓚.
You know how it is. On My Sports to talk all my shit.
Yes, sir. Talk that talk, 𝒮𝒏.
That's what I do.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this fire episode today, please do us a favor. Help us out with that algorithm and drop a like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. You know what I'm saying? Join in this fire conversation. Your voice will be heard. And shout out to Andre Harden for giving us some love on our analysis last week. Yes,
I like that guy.
Yes, sir. He's a cool cat.
Yeah, man. You know, I mean, I say like this, man. And definitely top 3 ALTC basketball players that we ever had.
Oh. Now, see, the rest of the people watching or listening, they don't know nothing about that ALTC, but sounding like playing hard with the church league right now.
Well, you know what? You're right. It is a church league, and in that church league, and he that's where he fits. That's where he's at right there, But no, I really feel that Andre Harden could have went probably NCAA. He could have been like the 7th, 8th man. He could play hack and shack or something, but he definitely would have been in there playing Division I basketball.
Yeah, he definitely had a smooth game.
Definitely.
And not to toot my own horn, but when we had that, we had a little 3-point shootout at the James Jordan Center, and yours truly reigned supreme now.
Hey man, I totally understand, and to toot my own horn, for me to go against NBA Hall of Fame talent and Dwayne Wade, the battles that we had helped train and mold him to become a Hall of Fame player. So what I always like to say, if I were to continue my basketball career the way that I shut down Dwayne Wade, it may be I have NBA talent.
Talk about. I like how you did that name drop right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You went total to the Hall of Fame.
That's what I did.
I did that. Y'all in the comments, y'all call me Cap or no? Y'all let me know.
It's nothing about Cap.
You got a nice cap on your head right now. I'm just saying.
Hey man, appreciate it.
But ladies and gentlemen, y'all ain't coming here to hear about our church league exploits. But we're gonna hop right into this sports talk this week. And 𝒮𝒏, man, did you see Odell going full Raven with the purple hair, man?
Yeah, man, I seen that, man. I personally think I think the hair is spicy. Maybe I'm old school, but what I do like, hey, that's drawing attention. That's something that Odell Beckham Jr. do. And as long as the antics that he's putting out there, he produces during the regular season, like he did the first couple of years with the Giants, man. Hey, well, actually, even that last year when he played with the Rams, then I really think it's going to be a problem out there.
Yeah, I agree. I like the coordination. It's cool. It's all right. Kind of reminds you of on the baseball tip. What's his name? Was it Tatis or not Tatis? They got the blue hair when he went to the Mets. Wasn't Tatis? I forgot the guy's name. Came from Cleveland. I'm
What's
drawing
my
a blank on his
man?
name right now, but he had the blue hair when he went to the Mets.
He
Y'all hit
made
me
it
in
to
the
the
comments.
Celtics.
Marcus Smart with the green hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, man.
I want to see what his color gonna be with the Grizzlies this year.
Yeah, man.
But
That's gonna be something.
with Odell, that's kind of giving me the vibes of, and I'm glad you said the Giants. When he was with the Giants and he came up out that pool,
Hmm.
these are the vibes I'm getting with this purple hair. You know, this is rainbow-like, rainbow-esque
Rainbow
activity,
S. There you
rainbow-esque
go.
behavior
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Mr. Beckham.
man. Well, I'm no stranger to Beijing '59 myself,
Not the
and
59,
oh, definitely the pavement black. That's where I live.
the
I keep
asphalt.
it. Yeah, asphalt black. That's why I stay with it. But when it comes down to all these different colors and things, hey man, that's not my style. Maybe I'm old school, but what I will say is this: that's what Odell Beckham is good for, man. He's good for a draw. He brings that attention, and as long as he brings his hands to the game, the way he brings these different colors on his hair, then hey man, look, Baltimore gonna be in for a treat, dude. Because
Yeah,
if he plays anything like he did that last season before he got hurt, so if he came back and he's really 100% from that injury, man, I'm telling you, boy, him and
yeah.
Jackson, that's
If
gonna be
he
a
look,
thing.
if he look anything like that Super Bowl performance,
Exactly.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
nasty. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Beijing because I'm looking at the picture right now because he got the black beard, black
quadruple.
goatee with the
Don't
purple
look
hair.
underneath.
If you if you if you add in that Beijing like you talking about, you go with the matte black hairline to go with
Yeah,
the purple. It might kind of set it off a little bit. I don't know.
absolutely.
Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Maybe on the edit, I might draw in a little matte black hairline
Look
on
it
it,
up,
see what
man.
that look
You
like.
know what I'm saying? Look it up. Yeah.
But moving along from Odell's hairline, some video came out about the Cowboys practice, Dak and Trayvon Diggs getting into it, and then last week we saw Kelsey get into it with some teammates at Chiefs practice, and then even in the Bears, we saw Eddie Jackson and Chase Claypool getting into it yesterday. So, see, what you think about all these early training camp dust ups? Is it some cause for concern, or is it just time to hit somebody else?
Nah, man. I just think that's a bunch of alphas on the field, and that's just being competitive. Every year this happens with these guys. When you get them out there, and the coaches actually like it, because you're on that same team and you trying to show and prove. So if you got somebody out there that you think, hey, if you think you're better than me, then I'm gonna show you. And if you disrespect me, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. That's what practice is about. That's how you get that feel for your teammates. And regardless, you always have them guys back when you go into war. It's kind of like, um, shout out to Andre Harden. We were just talking about him, but that's my brother. And if me and my brother, we can have a difference amongst each other in the house. But when we go out, we go to war together. So regardless of what it is, we have our differences is when we go out there and it's battle time against anybody else, it's on and popping. So as a coach, and for me personally, I like to see that, so I like to see these guys going head to head because that's saying, all right, look, I'm not out here to be your friend. I'm going to show you I'm better than you. So you're going to get the best out of your players. So I really love that. I like to see when these guys are going at it like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in full agreement on that one. Iron sharpens iron. You
Absolutely.
know, like you said, we're not here to be friends. We're here to be gladiators at the highest level, and we're competitors. Guys like Chase Claypool, Dak Prescott. There's a lot of noise, outside noise for these guys, day in and day out, and this is their chance to let those frustrations out. So,
Absolutely.
it's just that ultra competitive fire. Like you said, the coaches love to see, the fans love to see.
Mhm.
It means that we ain't finna lay down for nobody. You know.
And
And
plus,
it's typically offense versus defense in these dust ups that we see anyway. So when the
right.
time comes to hit somebody else, we won't have these same frustrations.
Well, also as a fan, that's what you want to see in your team. So you want to see your team be able to go out there and hit somebody, talk a little bit of trash. At the same time, there's a difference when, you hear from outside sources saying things, but when it's in-house and you hear that same type of trash talk, hey man, that hits home. Once again, we were talking about how it is when you have siblings. There's a totally difference when somebody on the outside is talking trash. It's like, man, whatever. But if my brother or somebody came at me talking that same trash, I'm ready to go at their head. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's always a difference. So with that team, that's a family. And if you out there and you never know, somebody probably telling Dak like, hey man, you'll never come through when you're supposed to. You choke all the time. Dak ain't trying to hear that. That make him feel a certain way. Dak,
Yep.
that's the offense. That makes his offensive line feel a certain type of way. Now you got these guys going at it, and like I said, this is a sport, so they're going to be competitive. So it's good to go out there and get your absolute best from the team. You don't want to go out there and have a bunch of people kumbaya. I put it like this: would you have a bunch of Michael Jordans out there, or would you want to have a bunch of LeBron James out there getting along with everybody? Which one would you take?
I need some killers. I need some MJs out there.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from LeBron, but you know exactly what I'm saying. You would rather have that Mamba mentality of a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan. When you're going out there, it's like, hey dude, we got business to take care of. I'm not here to be your friend, dog. You're gonna get this right. So like you said, iron sharpens iron. So if we out here, man, look, we can kiss and make up later. But while we out here on this field, ain't no friends. I'm here to be
Yeah.
the best that I can be.
Yeah. And I like your analogy about family. It is just like a family. And it's a brotherhood. And brothers
Right.
fight, siblings fight.
Absolutely.
They fight for the attention of the parent. You can look at the coaches as the parent.
Mhm.
Your coordinator is the mama, the head coach is the daddy, however you want to look at it. But hey, they fighting for the affection of the parent.
Well, let's just
But
put it
when we
like
get
this.
out in the street, you know,
If the affection, and when you say you fight the affection of the parent is the front office. So at the end of the day, these are these guys' jobs. So I'm going to be out here to show them, hey, I'm the best in my position of what I'm doing, and I deserve this amount of money. I deserve what it is that these players on other teams, other cornerbacks, other quarterbacks, I deserve to be in that top 5 of people getting paid. And the only way you're going to get paid is by going out there and showing what you can do, and it all starts with practice, right?
yeah, facts, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you're listening or you're watching at home on YouTube, get in those comments. Let us know what you think about that topic. What's the cause of these? Is it just frustration or is it some, brotherly love? Um, but still on the topic of fighting, somebody who's dealing with the consequences of a dust up of his own last year in 2022
What you talking
is New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara.
about? Oh,
If y'all haven't paid attention, Mr. Kamara, it has been announced that he's going to miss the first 3 games of the season due to
okay. So he's
suspension from
suspended.
that issue last year in Vegas. See, how big of a suspension is this for the Saints? Does this hurt their chances in that division?
Nah, if you ask me, because I don't think they're going anywhere. I think the Saints are more now in that rebuilding era. So, I think they fall in the echelon of probably winning 7 games, 5 to 7 games. That's just me. That's my opinion. But what I will say about that, if I can offer anything, is like, look, you guys are athletes. You got jerks out there. Well, they're athletes. They're targets. So you got people out there like C's that love to see athletes and, try my best to get under their skin just to try to get a payday. So, you're going to try to do that. A lot of these guys, man, we forget, Alvin Kamara's what, 24, 25 years old, no older than 27. He's still a young guy. So, these guys are human too. So there's certain things that you can say, they get under their skin. And man, you can't be in your emotions, because when you're in emotions, you're in that moment. And hey, it only takes 5 minutes. That's gonna hurt your pockets millions of dollars. So when it comes down to these athletes, man, look, get security. That's it. Put some security around you, man. So that way you got some respect on your name, and you don't have to worry about all this extra stuff. These guys should have been learned from past experiences. Every year you see it, and it's an unfortunate situation, but that's just the way the world works,
Yeah,
I
I
agree
agree
with
with
you.
you.
You
You
definitely got
definitely
to
got to
keep a
keep a
level
level
head in
head
that
in that
situation.
situation.
But
But
as
as
far
far
as the
as the
Saints are
Saints are
concerned,
concerned,
unlike
unlike
you, I
you, I
actually
actually
have
have
expectations for
expectations
the
for the
Saints.
Saints.
I
I
think
think
what's that?
they
they
are
are
the
the
division
division
winner
winner
this
this
year.
year.
That's who
That's
I
who I
picked to
picked to
win
win
the
the
NFC
NFC
South.
South.
Okay.
That's
Probably
probably
the
the
weakest
weakest
division
division
in
in
the
the
league.
league.
Last
Last
Right.
year,
year,
everybody
everybody
was
was
7 and
7 and
10,
10,
except for the
except for the
winner,
winner,
Tampa
Tampa
Bay,
Bay, who
Tampa, right.
finished 8-9.
Right.
Um,
I
I
think
think
New
New
Orleans is
Orleans
going
is
to
going to
win
win
with
with
8
eight
to
to
9
nine
wins.
wins.
They'll be
They'll be
8 and
8
9 or
9 or
9 and
9 and
8. It'll
8.
be
It'll be
somewhere
somewhere
still in
still
that
in that
same
same
vein.
vein.
But
Right.
I
But I
think
think
they're the
they're the
best
best
team out
team
of
out of
all
all
those
those
in
in
the
the
division.
division.
Carolina, they
Carolina,
got
they
the
got the
young,
young,
fresh
fresh
Ferrari
Ferrari
quarterback,
quarterback,
Mhm.
but
but
they
they
gave up
gave
a
up a
lot of
lot of
pieces
pieces
last year.
last year.
Right.
Well, at
Well,
least
at
some
least some
major
major
pieces,
pieces,
and
and
Christian
Christian
McCaffrey
McCaffrey
and
and DJ
McCaffrey, yeah.
Moore.
Right.
Um,
So
so
yeah, I
yeah, I
think
think
that New
that New
Orleans will
Orleans will
win that
win that
division.
division.
Now,
Now,
as
as
far as
far as
Kamara is
Kamara is
concerned,
concerned,
yeah,
yeah,
the
the
injury
injury
hurts,
hurts,
but I
but I
don't
don't
think it
think it
hurts
hurts
New
New
Orleans'
Orleans'
chances
chances
because
because
the
the
depth
depth
at the
at the
position for
position
them.
for them.
You know, you
You
remember they
remember they
went and
went and
signed
signed
Jamal
Jamal
Williams
Williams
from
from
Detroit,
Detroit,
who
who
scored
scored
30
30
touchdowns
touchdowns
last year.
last year.
They
True.
They
drafted
drafted
um,
um,
Kendrick
Kendrick
Miller
Miller
out of
out of
Didn't
TCU,
know.
TCU,
who was
who
in the
was in the
Right.
national
national
championship
championship
last year.
last year.
So
Mhm.
they
So they
have
have
some
some
depth
depth
at the
at the
running
running
back
back
position.
position.
So
So
that's
that's
why
why
I don't
I don't
think
think
this is
this is
going to
going to
hurt
hurt
them
them
that
that
much.
much.
But I
But I
do
Right.
do
think
think
the
the
expectations are
expectations are
high
high
on it
on it
over
over
there
there
for at
for at
least
least
winning
winning
that
that
winnable
winnable
That,
division.
division.
well, even in my eyes, even if they win that division, at the end of the day, you're still just a bracket filler. So
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
you
Early
Early
just
out.
get
out.
one playoff game and you're gone. I mean, so it's cool. One of the things that me and my brother used to say in that situation is, hey, if let's say, for example, if hypothetically speaking, let's say if I like Green Bay, okay, and Green Bay
That's not
makes the playoffs.
hypothetical.
Let's just say if I like the Packers, all right, and they make the playoffs. Hey, so what? I got to see my team play one more Sunday than you did. I mean, it's just you're just a bracket filler.
Hey, you
You
take what
take
you
what
can
you can
get.
get.
Exactly. I guess, but
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 I guess that's the whole thing of sports and being a fan. But
yeah.
yeah.
you know,
But I
But
mean,
I
as
mean, as
far as
far as
Kamara is
Kamara is
concerned, I
concerned, I
think
think
after
after
three
three
games is
games is
not
not
that
that
crazy.
crazy.
right.
Um,
So
so
he
he
missed
missed
more
more
last year,
last year,
didn't he?
didn't he?
If I
If I
Yeah,
recall
recall
right.
right.
yeah,
So
So
I
and
don't
I
that's
don't
think it's
think it's
going to be
gonna
a
be a
big
big
hit to
hit to
that
that
team.
team.
And when he
And when he
comes
comes
back,
back,
that's
that's
just more
just more
firepower
firepower
in
in
that
that
he
offensive
is a
offensive
backfield.
work. He is a workhorse. I just really think that. Well, I just really hope that he learned his lesson off the field, because
Yeah.
Roger Goodell, man, he don't play no games, man. And you know you already had this incident. This is your warning, and it's 3 games. And like you just said, this is a division where you might win going what 9-8 and get in the
Mhm.
playoffs. So 3 games is real important, and that guy is a big piece to that team. Especially right now with them having the issues that they do at quarterback. So, and like you said, I understand they do got some workhorses back there, but we all know that's the main man, and Kamara being there. So
Yeah.
his output is real big for 3 games. That might change from you making it to the playoffs and not. So I just hope he learned his lesson, man. I hope the man just get him some security. But I
yeah,
will
Yeah,
say,
get that
support.
support.
I
Facts.
will
Facts.
say, look, he laid them hands on my mans in them,
Put the
Put the
and I ain't
paws
pause.
talking
on.
about laying
Put
hands on
paws on.
somebody for Jesus.
Put the
Pause.
paws on.
He put them paws on them.
Hey, I tell you what else, the NFL needs to be careful about Vegas. They need some extra security set up over there. Everything happens in Vegas, and you're no longer
Everything.
staying in Vegas.
Right, right. I'm tell
So
you, I'm
yeah,
taking a trip out there next time I find out these NBA, NFL players going. You know,
next Summer League or some.
I'm there. I'm there.
So moving on to another team is dealing with some pain, but this time it's not from a suspension; it's from an injury. And I'm talking about the LA Rams and Cooper Cup.
Mm.
Cooper Cup, he had a little hamstring injury in practice, and now they're saying these data. There was reports of he might miss some weeks. Now you're hearing Sean McVay say day to day. So just talk about it. Cooper Cup, is the deterioration starting for him? Have we seen the best of Cooper Cup? Is he regressing now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that we seen the best of him because he's one of the, the elite top 5 receivers that we got in the league right now. But what I will say is this: once you start having these little small injuries like hamstring pulls and things like that, these things can be the beginning to the end. So I think they just need to really take it easy with him and nurse him back. There's no rush for him to get back in there. Now that's a team I think in the Rams that's going to make the playoffs. I think they probably going to end up winning 11 games this year, 10 games this year. So got to take it easy. Plus, this is a big thing. No more Odell Beckham. So now that same wide receiver core kind of depleted a little bit. So it's like you got to take it easy. Plus, that's your star player. So they're gonna give him the attention that he need. I hope that it's not that serious, but this seems to be an ongoing thing now in the NFL. These hamstring pulls, these little small, nagging injuries, where it seems like, these little small things can lead to bigger things, and you don't want to have these little small soft tissues injuries, or any of these type of hamstring injuries, because these things can nag, and if you don't get it fixed, then it can hamper you all season. So I just hope that they get it right, because man, I like Cooper Cup, man. He's the
Yeah,
well
Cooper Cup is good. He hit the scene like Wes Welker back in the day when he was with Brady.
absolutely
Um,
that safety blanket, man.
yeah, I'm a big fan of Cooper Cup as well, but I do think the regression has started. Not skill wise, but the injuries. The injuries cause regression. It's just the
Right,
natural form of life. It happens.
right.
But I don't think this is a playoff team. I
No,
think their division is between
stacked
San
up.
Francisco and Seattle.
Right.
Um, Matt Stafford, we've seen the best of him in my opinion. I don't think it's over with, but in my opinion, Matt Stafford is somebody that needs some firepower around him, and they have less now. And with Cooper Cup's still a man, but he's not maybe as reliable to be on the
Maybe.
field as he once was.
I'm a
Um,
real big fan of their coach, McVay.
I
You know,
love Sean McVay.
man, I just like that dude, man. I like the passion that he bring out there, and
Absolutely.
I
And
like
his
how he be
knowledge.
just as hype as his team, man.
Yeah.
So I feel that it seemed like that's the way they do things. They have an on year, an off year. They had another on year. They won the Super Bowl. Last year they missed the playoffs. I think this year they're gonna get things right out there, and I think they're at least gonna be a playoff team.
Yeah, they'll be better. They'll be in competition for it. I personally think that Seattle has done a lot this offseason, and San Francisco, they didn't need to do a lot, but
San Francisco's who we
they
thought.
added a nice piece on that defensive line. They added a stud on the defensive line, actually.
Right.
Um,
Well, that defense period, man. They some killers out there, man. And then you got Bosa. He's gonna come back. He's gonna be healthy this year. Um, and who do they have at quarterback? I forget.
Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, and Sam Darnold. It's a
Okay.
competition.
Okay. So yeah, it's in the air right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we talk about having, I said safety blankets or safety nets, and you got McCaffrey back there. It seems like he's back at 90%, 100% from his injuries. Because he took a year off himself with Carolina, and last
Yeah,
year,
he had a big
he
year
really,
last year, though, I think.
he came back with full force last year.
Yeah,
So I mean, I just think, them guys are, I think they're going to be okay. You know what I mean? 'Cause them guys are like more on the elite side, Super Bowl contenders. So, oh yeah, I think they got the division. I believe that they're going to win that NFC West. Um, I really don't believe in Seattle till you really get out there and put it all together and we see what we have. Plus, although Geno had a good year last year, I mean, I'm happy for him, but I mean, can he repeat what he did? Because now we're gonna really get a chance to see because they'll have a lot of tape on him now, and defense
yeah.
are gonna be able to adjust, and we're gonna see if he's gonna be that one surprise year and bust, or is he's really gonna be one of the I say top tier. He's not elite, but he'd be in that top tier of the quarterbacks out there if he had another good season like he did last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
look at
look at
Geno
Geno
as
as
more
more
like
like a
Alex
Alex
Smith
Smith
when
when
he
he
was
was
with
with
the
the
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Oh,
He's
so
not
A
a
killer,
killer,
but
but
so
he's
he's
not
just he's out there. He's just controlling the clock, in, huh?
a
a
game
game
manager.
manager.
There you go. So
Um,
yeah,
but
game
I
man.
think that team doesn't necessarily need the elite guy.
A
A
game
game
manager is
manager is
good. They
good. They
have
have
a
a
receiving
receiving
core,
core,
um,
um,
a
a
big
big
time
time
receiving
receiving
core
core
with
with
Tyler
Tyler
Lockett,
Lockett,
DK
DK
Mm-hmm.
Metcalf, and
Metcalf,
then
and
they
then they
added the
added the
rookie out of
rookie out of
Ohio
Ohio
State,
State,
Jackson
Jackson
Smith and
Smith and
Jigba,
Jigba,
who's
Right.
who's
been
been
tearing
tearing
it
it
up
up
in
in
camp.
camp.
And
And
Well,
the
the
running
running
back,
back,
Walker,
Kenneth
Walker,
Walker, um,
had
had
a
a
beast of
beast
a
of a
rookie
rookie
year.
year.
yeah. They
Yeah,
stacked
they
over
got
there.
something over there.
They stacked, but that's more of a reason why you want to make sure that you have one of them quarterbacks out there that's gonna get the ball out. Now, I understand what you mean, just going back what you're saying about Stafford, because when Stafford had, that full deck, when he had that game, that handful of all them spades, they won the Super Bowl. And I feel that's what Geno have over there. And I just hope that you know what I'm saying, because he was more of a bust. They were looking at him as being a bust with the Jets. And then he went over there. And I really think that I forget what's the name of the coach, the old guy over there
Pete
in
Pete
Carroll.
USC,
Carroll,
Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think that, man, they're just, with some players, they just really play good in his offense, man. And it's something about that system that he has over there that he's able to get the best out of players.
Yeah.
yeah.
And for that quarterback position, man, I just really hope Geno go over there and he really shows Seattle really what a real quarterback's about. In my eyes, they haven't had one in a long time, and it'll be great for them to finally have, a quarterback. So I really
That's
hope
That's
Geno
that's
do
an
his thing and
argument
show
that I
them.
leave for the fans to comment on.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
but
but
back to the
back to the
Cooper
Cooper
Cup
Cup
thing. My
thing. My
main
main
issue with
issue
him,
with
I
him,
think
I
it
think
might
it
be
might be
personal
personal
because
because
I
I
play
play
fantasy
fantasy
football,
football,
and
and
he
he
Mm.
was
was
my
my
first
first
pick
pick
last
last
year,
year,
and
and
it
it
broke
broke
my
my
heart.
heart.
So
So
it
it
Right.
might
might
be
be
some
some
recency
recency
bias in
bias in
there,
there,
but
but
Right.
I
I
don't
Right.
don't
see
see
him
him
going
going
before
before
round
round
three
three
this year.
this year.
No, I mean, especially right. Look, wide receivers in the NFL now is dime a dozen, and the reason I say that is because it's a passing league now. So with it being a passing league, man, look how many receivers now that we have that's over 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
Back
Yeah,
then it was kind of like how back when it was a running backs league, how man we had so many 1,000-yard rushers. Now it's switched. You know what I'm saying? The game is about excitement and it's about scoring points. And just like how they did in NBA, how they took away hand checking, they took away the forearm. Um, it's the same thing that goes in the NFL. Cornerbacks and everybody else, the defense can't touch these guys. So when you got a guy that's out here running, they got 4.3 speed, and you can't put your hand on him. I mean, you're going to get by somebody. Or if you give the quarterback an X amount of time, a receiver's gonna get open. It's just gonna happen. So, like I said, receivers, man, they like dime a dozen now. So, and with Cooper Kupp being hurt, yeah, I see third round at best for him when it comes down to the fantasy side. And plus, who else do we have out there? So they're really going to be able to focus on double teaming this guy throughout all over the field.
Exactly.
You don't have Odell on the other end no more.
And remember before Odell, they had Robert Woods. They got Odell because Robert Woods had gotten hurt. They don't have either of those guys.
Same thing, man. So, now this is really a thing of seeing if this guy's going to really be able to get off the line, and is he really getting open like this? Or it was because he has so many other weapons out there, they really couldn't just focus on Cooper Kupp like that. So it'd be good to see, like I said, but that's what made football exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'd be good to see.
Yeah, facts. Y'all getting those comments. Let me know how y'all feel this Cooper Kupp hamstring injury is going to affect the Rams. But moving on, I know this is a topic you've been waiting to dive into. It involves some former teammates and staff members from one of your favorite teams, your favorite team. I'm talking about Nathaniel Hackett, former Packer, Nathaniel Hackett. Just to catch people up, Sean Payton had came out and talked about the coaching job that was done in Denver last year. It was some of the worst coaching ever. Since then, and Rodgers has come to the defense of his coach, and he said that Sean Payton was insecure and he should keep his coach's name out of his mouth. And now we're hearing from Nathaniel Hackett. He came out and he says he feels like Sean Payton broke the code. These two teams play week 5, the Jets and the Broncos, so that should be a barn burner for seeds. Do you agree? Do you think Sean Payton broke the code, and or was he right?
I look at it like this. It's football. If you go talk trash, these two teams playing each other, hey, when it's time to get out there, you show your coaching, you got your players out there, you show and prove. All right. So, Hackett, you got Aaron Rodgers. And when Aaron Rodgers, when he was under you, this guy was an MVP, right? Now you take this same guy, because of that, it built his stock. He ended up going to Denver, right?
Fact.
Denver don't have no quarterback, man. Let me tell you something, man. At the end of the day, if you ask me, all this is because you put the players out on the field, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows Denver has that bum of Russell Wilson, all right? Nobody likes Russell. This guy he was by far... Have you ever just met, you never met that person, but you just don't like him, man?
Yeah,
I've been there. Time or two.
Yeah, you have a coworker at work. It's just somebody that I don't know. You just don't like them for some reason, and it don't even be nothing wrong. This guy come to work. Hey man, how you doing?
Like stepbrothers. I just want to rearrange your face.
Man, dog, and that's the way I feel about this Russell dude, man. I mean, you come, you're annoying. I hear he does dumb things like plays the guitar on the airplane with everybody trying to sleep. This dude is over here. He twerking letting his wife twerk on TV. I get it.
Cat don't like that. Cat don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, nobody cares for Russell Wilson. And last year, he tanked. All right, this guy, he came out there. They had expectations for Denver to finally get a quarterback. They gave this guy the keys to the city, man. They gave this guy office. They gave him 3 parking spaces, and they gave him a boatload of money. And he came out there and he played terrible. So if you look at it, it's kind of like what I was talking about systems. It's something about being in Seattle, and like I said, being able to play in that system where quarterbacks kind of thrive. And when Russell was over there, man, this guy was in MVP talks. And then once he got to go over to Denver last year, I mean, this guy was terrible, you know? So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at that, that makes your coaches look bad, you know? So now here it is. You got, was it Sean Payton, that he's now a Denver coach, right? He's the head coach,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's going to take some shots at the old coaching staff and say that, hey, these guys was terrible. So, I just like it because, hey, if you Philly broke the code, once again, this is football. Go out there and show it then. So, when they play against each other, make sure you have your guys go punch them in the mouth. You have your 4-time MVP. I mean, me personally, I think Stud, the best thrower of the football. If you talk about quarterbacks and you talk about greats of all time, man, you got Aaron Rodgers over there now. And to be honest, this is the same position that he was in going into Denver that he has going into New York. Speaking of, give me his name, the offensive coordinator.
Hackett.
Well,
Well, he
Hackett.
went from head coach back to OC
for
for
Right.
Denver.
Well,
Denver.
yeah. So you
But
went from
yeah,
head coach, but he was still running that offense over in Denver. Where now, now you go into a whole nother team, and me personally, now you have the quarterback of quarterbacks out here. So you got the best, arguably top 2 quarterbacks that ever played the game in Aaron Rodgers, and now this is going to show you that, hey, look, it's about production on the field. And Aaron Rodgers was an MVP under Hackett. Then you go over here and you got this bum of Russell, and Russell showed you that it depends on who you put out there, and everybody's system isn't for every player. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the week that they play, and we're gonna be able to see, exactly what happens. I got the Jets winning that game. I don't know, Aaron Rodgers and company. I give it 51-6.
yikes.
Um,
Um,
I do agree
agree
with
with
you.
you.
I
I
think
think
the
the
Jets
Jets
are
are
a
the
better
better
team.
team.
I
I
think
think
they'll
they'll
win.
win.
Um,
51-6.
I
I got
I got
mixed
mixed feelings
on
on
this
this
topic.
topic.
While
Was
While
I
I
agree with
agree
you,
with you,
Russ
Russ
did
did
a
a
horrible
horrible
job
job
last year.
got
last year.
garbage. Terrible.
Um,
Um,
I'm not
I'm not
giving
Garbage
giving
Hackett a
Hackett a
pass
pass
either.
either.
I
I
thought that
thought
was
that
a
was a
bad
bad
coaching
coaching
job. I
job.
thought
I
that
thought
was
that
a
was a
bad
bad
marriage.
marriage.
They play
Um,
Um,
they play hand in hand.
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
thought that
thought that
that
their
marriage
marriage
wasn't
wasn't
where
wasn't
it
where
was
it
at.
was at.
Right.
I
From
don't know
I
if
don't
you
know if you
remember
remember
early in the
early in the
season
season
when
when
they
they
started
started
off
off
with
with
two
two
or
or
three
three
losses
losses
straight.
straight.
Mm-hmm.
Hackett
Hackett
brought
brought
in a
in a
passing
passing
game
game
coordinator.
coordinator.
That
That
bothered me.
bothered me.
You were the
You were the
Gotcha.
OC
OC
Right.
in
in
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay.
Why the
Why the
hell do you
hell do
need
you
to
need to
bring
bring
in
in
help
help
to
to
get you
get
to
you to
Yeah.
help
help
call
call
offensive
offensive
plays?
plays?
This is
This is
what you
what you
do.
do.
This is
This
Right.
is
what you
what
were
you were
brought
brought
here
here
for.
for.
And you
And
need
you
to
need to
Yeah.
call in
call in
help?
help?
Well,
Eh.
uh, the way, I mean, and just to his defense, were you finished with your point?
No, but go
No, but
ahead.
go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was
Well,
just
I
gonna
was just
say,
gonna say,
yeah,
yeah,
that
that
rubbed me the
rubbed me the
wrong way
wrong
that
way
he
that he
needed
needed
help.
help.
Um,
Um,
I'm not
I'm not
giving
giving
Russ a
Russ a
pass. They
pass. They
both did a
both did a
horrible
horrible
job.
job.
They
They
were
were
not
not
meant
meant
to be
to be
together.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Now, as
Now,
far
as far
as
as
Sean
Sean
Payton is
Payton is
concerned,
concerned,
I
I
do
do
think
think
he
he
broke the
broke the
code.
code.
Coaches
Coaches
don't
don't
talk
talk
about
about
other
other
coaches. That's
coaches. That's
something we
something we
don't
don't
usually
usually
see or
see or
hear.
hear.
With that
With that
being
being
said,
said,
I
I
do
do
understand
understand
that
that
Sean
Sean
Payton
Payton
is
is
still
still
coming
coming
down from
down
being
from
a
being a
media
media
guy.
guy.
Remember, he
Remember,
was
he
with
was with
Fox
Fox
last year.
last year.
So to
So
make
to
a
Right.
make a
comment like
comment
that
like that
was
was
literally
literally
his
his
job.
job.
And I
And I
think
think
the
the
lines
lines
are
are
blurred.
blurred.
He's
He's
still
still
going
going
back
back
into
into
that
that
coaching
coaching
role
role
and
and
giving up
giving
that
up that
media
media
role. And
role.
that
And
was
that
a
was a
media
media
Mm-hmm.
role
role
type of
type of
move.
move.
Nah, I think that look, let's just call it a spade a spade. He knew what he was doing. He was taking a shot. He was saying, look, because Sean Payton is known as being this guru of an offensive coordinator, and at the same time he had what's my man name over in the Saints in New Orleans?
Drew
Quarterback.
Brees.
Breeze.
Yeah, he had Drew Brees over there, and him and Brees were, man, them guys. They play hand in hand with each other. So when you look at that, and now you say, okay, well, I have all these tools and everything, and Russell Wilson, excuse me. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna show you. I can make this guy shine just like I did this guy over here. And so yeah, I think that was a shot because he knew what he was doing. So, overall, yeah, I guess if there is, look, I'm not a professional player. I'm not a coach. So there probably is a code that they do have over there. Excuse me.
She want to be heard.
But
I feel you. But I think that was a code that he broke, but he wasn't wrong in what he said.
He
But
wasn't
it's
doing
just
what
like
he said,
players
told
talking
him.
about other players' money. Certain things you just
You
don't
just
bring
don't
up.
do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think that, yeah, he definitely he broke the code, but at the same time, hey man, it's good for us. So for me being a fan, I'm happy he did that because that way, hey, now you got Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, look, keep my
Yeah.
coach's name out your mouth. So
We
that
got some
means, all
hype.
right, let's see what you gonna do when they go out there and they play against Denver. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
week
week
five is
five
gonna
is
be
gonna be
turned up.
turned up.
Oh yeah,
The media is gonna have a field day. It's gonna be a frenzy for that one.
absolutely.
But I also think that Sean Payton and Russell Wilson is a good marriage.
I don't.
I know, I know. You feel some
type
type
of
of
way
way
about
about
Russ.
Russ,
I
and I
understand
understand
that.
that. While although I don't think Russ is anywhere as good as Drew Brees was, he
I know.
does have some of those qualities and the
Similar
playing
tools.
style,
Right.
and that's why I
They
think
do.
it'll be a good
They
marriage.
they have like similar tools. Um, and once again, we talk about systems. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be able to see, what Russ will be able to do. Playing underneath Sean Payton. But I really just think that when it comes down to that week 5, like I said, let's be honest, I got the Jets. They're gonna put up at least 31 points against Denver that game because
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is gonna come out. He gonna come out wanting to be hyped and show them like, hey, look, this is what y'all were missing over there, and it wasn't the coaching. It was who you had out here that was trying to play. So I really got um, Aaron Rodgers putting up, like I said, 37 to 51 points against that Denver team in week 5. I just can't see Russell doing anything out there. I think that his best time is behind him. I think that, he put it all on the field in Seattle. And, that guy, ever since that fluke in the Super Bowl, when he threw that interception, I think that was just the last. That was the last of Russell. I think we've seen the best of him and his wife. And it's time for them guys to pack it up. I really think he'd be a good number 2. Sometimes these guys, they transition. I just think that he'd be a good number 2. So, that's how I look at it.
I think he's gonna have a bounce back here this year. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that. Which side of the fence do you live on?
How many touchdowns
Is it
did he
over
have?
with for him, or will he have a bounce back?
How many
Touchdowns versus interceptions?
Yeah, for
I
Russell.
leave that one for the fans. I'm not gonna play with that one. My guess, 28 versus 15.
I give him 22 and 18.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on that, ladies and gentlemen. But moving on, but sticking with the Jets,
I hate him.
Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is back, and it starts Tuesday, featuring Aaron Rodgers and those Jets. C's. Are you a fan? Do you plan on tuning in?
I do. my DVR is already set. I'm happy to see these new look Jets out here. And so is the rest of the NFL, because one of these things that I think that this is going to show, it's going to show the leadership of Aaron Rodgers, which everybody said in Green Bay is something that he lacked. So now we get to see more of this guy, more of an intimate setting, to really see what he does when he's out there, to be on this new team, how he's going to be in training camp, how he's going to be with these receivers outside of having Lazard, which was a great receiver for Green Bay that they brought over there, to really see how he's going to mesh well with this team. So I think Aaron Rodgers is by far, seriously, the best regular season quarterback that ever played the game. And he was able to make passes and throws that other people just couldn't do, arguably outside of Mahomes, so in Kansas City. So, like, I think this is going to be good just to see where the Jets, how they looking. Obviously, I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers, so, I'm excited just to see what he's going to do to show his leadership and everything else. Outside of that, man, they got a lot of different pieces, and they got one heck of a defense. So I'm looking forward to seeing it,
Yeah, facts. Me too. I like Hard Knocks. I don't watch every year. It depends on which team they pick.
Right.
I was in and out last year with the Lions.
Right.
Ironically, probably my favorite year was the Jets when they had Rex Ryan, and he was, and 𝑦𝒐𝒏 hadn't sold out. And Rex Ryan is opening the door. Revis, where are you? You hear this? That was probably one of my favorite ones.
Let me ask you this real quick, just kind of going back into touching into the last subject. You mentioned this. When Rex Ryan, when they were playing, and you had the big rivalries between the Jets and the Patriots, all right, Rex Ryan made it known that he could not stand anything that went on in New England. And that made for good football. That made for one heck of a rivalry. So I really hope that the things that were said by Sean Payton kind of give us that feel when they play them teams again,
Yeah,
So
I agree.
These coaches are competitive just like these players, man. So, when it comes down to that, I'm excited, because that builds up for a good anticipation for a game. So with this year, with the Hard Knocks, with the Jets, I'm going to go a little far. I want to ask you this question. Now, we all know that, Green Bay, I can say, kind of squandered Aaron Rodgers' career, because there were times where there were pieces needed. They just didn't give it to him. And, he still made it to the 4 or 5 NFC championship games. Let me ask you, going over to the Jets, if Aaron Rodgers win the Super Bowl this year, where do you rank him amongst the best quarterbacks? Me personally, I think he'll be, arguably, you have to go with number 3 or 4 in the top 5. I think that will automatically catapult him into the top 5. What would you rank him?
Okay. That's a good one. Before I jump into that, because I don't want to forget the thought that I had. You mentioned the competitiveness of the coaches. Robert Saleh is somebody who I really want to see on this Hard Knocks. I want to see his mannerisms, how it kind of reminds me of Dan Campbell from last year, and I think he might get some good sound bites. But the Aaron Rodgers question. If he were to win a Super Bowl, and honestly, I don't know that I would pick them to win one, but they are fully capable. So it's definitely a possibility. But if they were to win one this year, I guess I'd have to agree with you. He would be in my top 5. I don't know that I don't think I'll put him over Brady.
Nah.
But I might put him over Payton.
Okay.
Over Manning with that. They will both have had 2 rings.
Okay.
But Aaron Rodgers got the MVPs.
Right. Well,
so
I will put it like this. I'll put it like this. There's no way you can put him over Brady just based off of 6 rings. All right. Now, I'm just speaking now. I'm not speaking from a fan's perspective. So there's no way you can put him over Brady. There's no way you can put him over Montana. All right. So, now we go on, and who else we have that won multiple Super Bowls? I mean, that's when they start falling to the twos. So you got people like, Peyton Manning. Me personally, I can put him over Manning only because when Peyton Manning won that last Super Bowl with Denver, his arm was shot. That was more of a defensive
It's a team
massacre.
one.
Yeah, when they played out there. So, well, actually, it was a team sport. Excuse me. They got destroyed when they went and lost to Seattle because that defense is what won the game for Seattle when they beat Denver. So,
And they should have
um,
did it twice.
The one
The one
yard
yard
line,
line,
beast
beast
mode.
mode.
absolutely. Especially if you're putting the ball in the hands of Russell Wilson. Ain't nothing good gonna come out of that. And obviously, you see, it was interceptions that came out of that, and they lost, broke that team up. But hey, that's what dysfunction. That's what a garbage quarterback can do. But we're talking about eliteness here. Let's keep that out of it. You can have that. You can keep that. So let's talk about these good quarterbacks here. So so I would say Rodgers. I would have to put him probably somewhere on, but he'll definitely be in around the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. But I'll put him 3 or 4. You can argue, but 3 or 4 somewhere in there because I think, and plus, no, I take that back. I will put him 3. And the reason I say that is because the AFC this year is freaking stacked. All right. And if you look at all the talent, all the elite quarterbacks, I'm not saying that they don't have none in the NFC, but the AFC is like how the NBA was on the Western Division, some years back when LeBron kept going to the finals in the East. That West was
Yeah.
stacked, and that's the way I kind of look at the AFC this year. So if he's able to get through that, that says something.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
The
The
AFC is
AFC is
stacked. I
stacked.
look
I
at
look
it
at it
as
as
the
the
AFC
AFC
has all
has
the
all the
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks.
The
The
NFC
NFC
has all
has
the
all the
defenses.
defenses.
Well, you know what they say. They say
Defense,
defenses win
defense
Super
Defense
wins.
Bowls.
wins.
So we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
which
they
they
most
most
certainly
certainly
will.
will.
And
And
ladies and
ladies and
gentlemen,
gentlemen,
hop in
hop
those
in those
comments.
comments.
Let us
Let
know
us
what
know
you
what you
think.
think.
Will you
Will
be
you be
watching
watching
Hard
Hard
Knocks?
Knocks?
And
And
also
also
answer
answer
Mr.
Mr.
C's
C's
question.
question.
If
If
A-Rod,
A-Rod,
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers
were to
were to
win the
win the
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl
this year,
this year,
where
where
does
does
that
The
that
best
rank
rank
him
quarterback.
him
on
in
the
the
all-time
all-time
list of
list of
quarterbacks?
quarterbacks?
But
But
moving
moving
on,
on,
C's.
C's.
I don't know
I
if
don't
you've
know
been
if you've been
paying
paying
much
much
attention to the
attention to the
Colts and
Colts
this
and this
Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor
Taylor
situation.
situation.
And we ain't
And
gonna
we ain't gonna
take
take
much
much
time because
time
we've
because we've
taken a
taken
lot
a
of
lot of
time on
time
this
on this
NFL so
NFL so
far.
far.
But
But
he met
he
with
met
Jim
with Jim
Irsay.
Irsay.
He
He
doesn't
doesn't
seem to be
seem to be
getting the
getting the
extension that
extension
he
that he
wants.
wants.
Um,
Uh,
what do you
what do
think
you
is
think is
going on
going
with
on
this
with this
situation
situation
and
and
these
these
running
running
backs?
backs?
Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor is
Taylor
one
is
of the
one of the
best in the
best in the
league, and
league,
he
and he
can't get a
can't get a
deal.
deal.
Yeah, man. I think it's sad because I think the running back is the most important position outside of the quarterback and the left tackle or the right tackle, depending on if quarterback left hand, right hand. Um, it's sad because these guys they take the most punishment, and you got to pay these guys because when you have a good running game, that helps the passing game. They play hand in hand. And for these guys to be disrespected to the point that they're not getting paid, because let's face it, nowadays they have more of you have the two running back positions. So people are splitting carries, you know. So you don't have just that, you only have a handful of just that dominant 30 carry a game running back. And when you have that nowadays, hey, these guys only lasting 5 years, 4 years, and then it didn't help that you have what's his name, Elliott, played for Dallas.
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 When he got the bag, he fumbled it because he got the bag and then put up no numbers after that. And it's like, oh, okay, that kind of set the trend for other running backs. It's sad that that's the way they look at it, but you know, like I said, man, it's just sad that them guys aren't getting paid, and I think that eventually what they're gonna do, the position they're gonna be around much longer, like because nobody's going to play running back if they're not paying nobody.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
and
tell
I
you
tell you
what,
what,
I
I
don't
don't
mean
mean
to
to
interrupt,
interrupt,
but
but
I don't
I
want to
don't
lose
want to
my
lose my
train of
train of
thought. You
thought. You
mentioned
mentioned
about
about
Zeke and
Zeke
his
and his
situation.
situation.
Same
Same
draft
draft
class,
class,
Melvin
Melvin
Gordon
Gordon
for
for
the
the
Chargers.
Chargers.
He
Yep.
He
tried to
tried to
hold
hold
out,
out,
didn't
didn't
get the
get the
money,
money,
got
got
cut,
cut,
went to
went to
Denver,
Denver,
and his
and his
career
career
was
was
never the
never the
same.
same.
So
So
you can
you
look at
can look at
San
San
Diego
Diego
as
as
making the
making the
right
right
choice.
choice.
Well,
Well,
Los
Los
Angeles
Angeles
now,
now,
you know,
Right.
I'll
I'll
owe a
owe a
quarter for
quarter
that.
for that.
Um,
Mm.
Um,
but then
but
they
then they
ended up
ended
with
up with
Austin
Austin
Eckler
Eckler
at a
at a
lesser
lesser
salary,
salary,
and
and
he's a
he's a
superstar.
He's
superstar.
balling out.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
agree with
agree
you.
with you.
Um,
Um,
it's a
it's a
bad look
bad look
when
when
that
that
happens.
happens,
But
but
here's
here's
the
the
devil's
devil's
advocate
advocate
side,
side,
which I
which I
don't
don't
like,
like,
but I
but I
understand.
understand.
There's
There's
so
so
many
many
running
running
backs
backs
now.
now.
There's
There's
you
there
can
you can
find a
find a
replacement in the
replacement in the
fifth
fifth
round
round
and
and
start him
start
Right.
him
for a
for a
year,
year,
and
and
he
he
may
may
make a
make a
Pro
Pro
Bowl.
Bowl.
Like there's
Like there's
so
so
much
much
talent
talent
at the
at the
position
position
where in
where
order
in
to
order to
stand out
stand
and
out and
stick
stick
around, you
around,
got to
you got
be
to be
absolutely
absolutely
elite.
elite.
You got to be
You got to be
Christian
Christian
McCaffrey. You got
McCaffrey.
to
You
be
got
able
to
to
be able to
throw,
throw,
catch,
catch,
block,
block,
run,
run,
Mhm.
everything.
everything.
Or
Or
else
else
you're gonna be
you're gonna be
replaced.
replaced.
Even with
Even
my
with my
team, the
team, the
Bears.
Bears.
David
David
Montgomery. We
Montgomery. We
love
love
David
David
Montgomery in
Montgomery in
Chicago.
Chicago.
Ryan
Ryan
Poles even
Poles even
said he
said he
tried to
tried to
resign him.
re-sign him.
But
But
you got
you
a
got a
young
young
guy,
guy,
Khalil
Khalil
Herbert,
Herbert,
that every
that every
time he
time he
plays
plays
in
in
replacement of,
replacement
of
of
David
David
Montgomery,
Montgomery,
he's
he's
outpacing him
outpacing him
between the
between the
tackles.
tackles.
Now he
Now he
doesn't
doesn't
have the
have the
hands
hands
Montgomery
Montgomery
had.
had.
He doesn't
He
have
doesn't
the
have the
blocking
blocking
ability
ability
Montgomery
Montgomery
had.
had.
But
But
between the
between the
tackles, he's
tackles, he's
probably
probably
better
better
and
Yeah,
made
and
him a
made him
little
a
bit
little bit
easier to
easier to
replace.
replace.
It's
to a
It's
certain
these
extent.
it's
it's
like
like,
I,
hey,
I,
I
I don't
I
want to
don't want to
sound
sound
racist on
racist on
this, so
this,
I'm
so
just
I'm just
going to
gonna
use
use
the
the
stereotypical
stereotypical
example.
example,
Not
not
necessarily
necessarily
saying that
saying
this
that
is
this is
how
how
I
I
feel,
feel,
but this
but
is
this
the
is the
stereotype.
stereotype.
But
But
these
these
running
running
backs,
backs,
these
these
lower
lower
draft
draft
pick
pick
running
running
backs,
backs,
you could
you could
almost
almost
view
view
as
as
how
how
people would
people would
say
say
Mexicans are
Mexicans are,
with
with
taking
taking
whatever
whatever
job for
job for
lesser
lesser
pay.
pay.
These
These
lower
lower
drafted
drafted
running
running
backs are
backs are
taking a
taking a
job
job
for
for
lesser pay.
lesser pay.
Well, I put it like this, but when it comes down to that position, that's just what you have. Either it's take it or leave it. So, like when you talk about Montgomery, hey, look, Montgomery was a heck of a running back in Chicago. All right, and when you look, when you get tape on a running back, I mean, if you ever sit back and listen to some of these coaches, it's amazing how they sit back and say, hey, if you step up to the line, he move his foot over a half an inch, you know that they passing the ball or something like that. Like when they get tape on players, then obviously the focus is going to be on that player. So look, Montgomery been there for years. So they have a lot of tape on Montgomery and he still was producing. And not only was he producing, he was still blocking, and he had better hands. And everybody know that was one of the things Chicago needed, was somebody out of the backfield that can catch the ball, because for the longest their MO was what? They couldn't go down the field, right? So Montgomery was that workhorse on that team. And the sad thing is, and with the running back position, they sit back and say, okay, well, life expectancy of a running back is what? 4 years, 5 years? So
5 years,
now
something like
you're
that.
splitting carries, So now, yeah, you splitting carries, then what you gonna do? You're gonna split money. You're not gonna give this guy 10 mil. Now you're gonna give them 1.3 or whatever it is,
Yeah,
You got
we
So
got
committees
committees
now.
now.
yeah, I think the best thing that you can do if you was a running back in the position of Saquon Barkley or what's his name, Taylor from
Jonathan
Jonathan
the
Taylor.
Colts,
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. Hey man, franchise me. I know you're taking a risk, but look, what's my boy name? Kirk Cousins, man. He done made a bag off the franchise tag. All right,
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
dangerous for
dangerous
a
for a
running
running
back though,
back though,
because
because
what
it's a
you got to
1 year
lose?
deal.
What
everything.
do
Everything,
you have to lose? You
A
just
a
lot.
said
lot.
it.
It's
It's a
You
one.
1 year
said,
deal.
hey, you said, hey, this guy went and he ended up going over to from the Chargers. He went to another team, and you ain't never heard of this guy again. Look, take that franchise. At least you know you get paid what the top 5 that made, and you go from there. But
in terms of just getting something, you want to at least get the franchise, but these guys want 3-4 year deals. They want some security. They can go out and get hurt on the first play.
I understand that, but guess what? That's the nature of the beast. That's what you signed up to. You playing football.
Yeah, this is where we're at now, though. You easily replaced as a running back. So my suggestion, if you're a kid trying to be a running back, if that's what you're good at, stick with it. But learn every aspect. Don't just do one thing.
Nah, man. Forget being a running back. That's done. If you want to do anything,
and everything comes back around. It'll come back. It'll come back. It'll come back. Remember, it was a time when they said they'll never draft running backs in the first round again, and it lasted for a few years. And that was before Saquon. Then Saquon got drafted. It's full circle. They'll leave for a little while, then we'll realize how important it is. It'll come back.
Okay, well, let's look at the fact too of the history of running backs that got paid. And excuse me, I don't remember the guy's name, but he played for Pittsburgh, and this guy was a heck of a running back.
Bettis?
No, it was after Bettis. I mean, this guy,
Le'Veon.
There you go, Le'Veon Bell. All right, heck of a running back. Sat out, got paid, never heard of him again. Look at.
Did a rap album.
Did a rap album, bro. He got his bag and did a rap album. And then you got, like we already said, Elliott got paid 3 yards a game, 2 yards a game. On one of the best offenses out there. And with the Cowboys. So, hey, everybody's not the same, but it doesn't look good for these guys that they putting a bad rap out for themselves as far as not producing after they get in the bag. So,
and that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take somebody to get the bag and produce to bring it back around. If Christian McCaffrey helps win the 49ers a Super Bowl, that will help bring it back around. Because he got paid and is still probably the best running back in the game.
Still producing, yeah. Yeah, so, I'm not against nobody getting their money. I hope they do, especially when you talk about playing a sport where that position is so important because, once again, you take away the running back, then you know how it is. You have no running game, then they're going to focus on
eventually you ain't got
zones and everything else. Your passing game is going to suffer. So, they play hand in hand. I hope they get the bag. Hopefully they do get paid. I hope it do come around full circle because I hope they realize how important these guys are. But what is it going to take? Every running back sit out? You know what I mean? Like, what is it going to take in order for them to get paid? So until the end, I just think you got to do what's best. So I'd rather take a franchise and risk it. Me personally, I take that franchise and get paid whatever the top 5 running backs getting paid. So we might get about $10 million a year, and take that franchise tag and go from there. That's better than making 2.
Yeah, that franchise tag is gonna keep dipping though. It ain't gonna be 10 mil for long.
No, not at all.
But yeah, it's a travesty what's happening in that position. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. How these running backs are being done. So hop in those comments. Tell me what you think. But moving away from the world of NFL to the world of boxing. One of our other favorite topics to talk about. And we already talked about the fight last week. We had the Errol Spence versus Terence Bud Crawford fight where Bud completely dominated Spence. We already gave our breakdown, and if you're interested in that, you can check out last week's episode for our thoughts. But some numbers came out this week, see? The pay-per-view numbers, the game numbers, and a question that I had asked during the breakdown, the preview, the previous week, was which fight would end up making the bigger bag overall between
Mhm.
the EJ and Bud fight versus the Tank and the Ryan Garcia fight. Well, Bud Spence numbers came out. They topped 650 pay-per-view buys, over 21 million at the gate. All in all, the fight thus far is looking like it grossed about 55 million,
Right.
which top 10 all time.
That's
Legendary fight.
amazing.
It didn't hit Tank and Ryan levels though.
Nope.
And I told people lean in. The boxing purists, for the boxing purists, the EJ and Bud fight was the bigger fight. But Tank and Ryan are pop stars.
It's
It's
just
different.
remember, there's something else that I had said. Now, remember I told you, whenever you want to have big fights, you usually want to have a black person versus a Mexican, so on and so forth, because these guys have countries behind them. So now, if you have Ryan Garcia, he is the savior for boxing when it comes for Mexicans, young fighter, pretty boy, knocking cats out. Not to mention, like you said, this guy's a rock star. You know what I mean? He has
20 million followers.
Exactly. I was about to say this guy has millions of followers on Instagram, everything else. You know, ladies loving this dude. Hey, people gonna tune in. You know, and this is like you said, it's nothing against the fight because with Bud and Errol Spence, because overall, you know, them guys are who they are. You know, respectively in the sport. But another thing too, outside of Ryan Garcia, you know, you have Tank. Tank is the knockout man. All right. So this guy, whoever it is, he fights. He's knocking everybody out. So he's the most exciting fighter that's out there fighting right now. You know, he's buzzing. He's selling out everywhere. So man, you put them two together, man, and you got some monster numbers. All right. And it showed. And once again, that's nothing against these two that just fought. But you got Errol Spence, which sells out arenas and everything, but you got Bud Crawford. And Bud is not the sellable like pay-per-view attraction. You know what I mean? You don't see this guy all over the internet. You don't catch him out here trying to talk trash. He's just out here straight business, get it done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, Bud blue collar.
right.
He
They don't go
represents.
out
He,
there.
he,
They
he
don't
make
go
you
out
think
there
about the
doing
working
anything.
man.
Right.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Right.
But
But
I
I also I saw the interview that Bud put out with Hot 97 after the fight, and he did acknowledge Spence's will to fight at 154 next for the rematch, and he did say that he's open to that. He's not a fan of sticking at 147 either.
Right.
And then he also mentioned that rematch will likely take place by the end of the year in December. So what you think about that? Now, I don't expect the rematch to make anywhere near what the first one made. But is that still a big fight?
It's still a big fight because once again, you know, Errol Spence is still Errol Spence. And what I mean by that is, you know, Errol Spence he's a Hall of Fame boxer. This dude is the best of the rest, okay? Obviously now he's just the number 2 person, all right? So what I'm getting to is this dude ain't no bum, all right? And everybody that I know of, including myself, picked Errol Spence to win that fight. And, you know, that's because I think he was the more popular vote. Because once again, we said no one really knows Bud because his personality is not out there like that. But now,
well, Bud was the favorite. Numbers wise, he was the favorite. Earl
he
was
the
the
favorite.
underdog.
Well,
But,
yeah, but I'm saying
we all
I'm saying
talked about Earl.
Right, because we all know Errol Spence. Like, you know, I mean, I know Errol Spence. I would watch an Errol Spence fight before I watch a Bud Crawford fight. You know what I mean? Because Errol Spence is that just known to be the more popular fighter. That's all. So, and he was putting in that work against everybody. It wasn't like he's some bum. He ain't no slouch out here. So I think the fight overall is going to be good. I think fighting at 154, I think that's going to give. I think it's going to be a better fight at 154 because one of the things that I didn't mention last time, I think Spence, when you got to cut weight like that, man, and you do it so fast, depleting your body like that, that really drains them. That hurts you going into that fight, So he could have been dehydrated to the point where, because he lost so much weight. Him fighting more at 154, I think that give him more of a fighter's chance because, that's more of his actual walk around weight, which I believe is like, I think 180 or something like that. He said 175. So
yeah, he does. He walks around way bigger. And I'm not gonna make any type of excuses because Bud had to cut weight as well, and
true.
Spence has his own nutritionalist, so he's been preparing for this for a while.
True.
But yes, I do think that fighting at 154 gives them both a little bit more of an advantage, and I think it makes it a little bit more interesting fights. So I am definitely still looking forward to seeing it. Like I said, I don't think it's as big as it was, but it's still probably the biggest fight that could be made for either one of those two guys.
True. And
And
also,
and we saw a million Triple G versus Canelo, so give me at least two or three of these.
that's true. And that's what boxing is, man. Now, I just hope that, well, like I said before, regardless, I think this gives Bud, excuse me, instead of Errol Spence losing like he did in the ninth, hey, he might lose and get knocked down or knocked out in the 11th this time. Because regardless, I'm not changing up now, man. Bud is the truth. He showed me that, and I just can't see nothing else happening from what I've seen. I think that whole camp is going down to Bud.
Mm. That's definitely something to get into down the line. That's called
Absolutely.
a
I'm looking
teaser.
forward to it.
That's a setup.
Exactly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in those comments what you guys think. Is that still a big time fight? Moving along, like you said, another one of EJ stablemates,
Mhm.
jermellcharlo. Now this this rubbed me the wrong way, and I'll get into it later because there's two guys I want to talk about with this situation. But jermellcharlo to be stripped of his WBO title after the fight with Canelo. They gonna elevate 𝑶𝒏 𝑴𝒚. What you think about that? Is that right? He took the fight to go fight Canelo instead of putting his belt on the line with somebody in the division, and now he's gonna be stripped for it. How do you feel about that, Cease?
Well, I think that's the right thing to do. Because 𝒏𝒚 𝑴𝒚 was he was the mandatory. You know, and if you're going to be the mandatory, then that's who you fight next. And the outcome, if that's not who you want to fight and you want to go for that big bread and everything else, hey man, take that belt. All right. Because what I'll do, I'll go take care of my business and I'll beat Canelo. And then I'll come back and I'll fight you. That'll be another big money fight. And I'll prove that you a paper champ because you didn't take that belt from me. It was handed to you. So I think they're doing the right thing. If that's the way the commission goes in boxing, then hey, that's the way it goes. So strip him of the belt. Then he had to go handle his business because, from a business standpoint or a money standpoint, you gotta look at it for Charlo. All right, what if he go out there and he was to lose to 𝒚𝒚 𝑴𝒚? Then what? Where does that leave him with Canelo, a fight that he's been wanting for years? Not to mention, that is the bag of bags. All right. So, you go out there and you go, what happened if he went out there and you fought, let's say if you just said it about the whole thing with Triple G. These guys are going to fight. So, like you said, it was a trilogy. That was three different bags. You never know. So Charlo, I think he's doing the right thing. As far as I'm concerned about the rules are rules. You can't change that. So he's going after the bag and then double back and then you go on back and you handle business back in your division and go back to being, the undisputed
Undisputed.
champ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
pretty much
pretty
agree
much
with
agree
that.
with that.
There's
There's
something
something
about it that
about
I
it that
don't
I
like,
don't like,
and we're gonna
and
get
we're gonna get
into it
into it with
with the
this the
next
next
topic
topic
because it
because it
leads
leads
in.
in.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, if
that's the
that's the
rule,
rule,
stick with the
stick with
rule.
the rule.
Just
Just
stick with
stick
that
with that
for
for
everybody.
everybody.
Um,
Um,
Right.
but yeah,
but yeah,
you can
you
set
can
it up
set it up
to
to
force
force
Charlo and
Charlo and
Tenzou,
Tenzou,
and
and
now
now
it's
it's
another
another
undisputed
undisputed
match. So
match.
you
So
get a
you get a
chance to be
chance to be
two-time
two-time
undisputed.
undisputed.
Where
Where
it
it
was
was
before
before
you,
you,
there
there
were
were
none
none
at that
at that
division.
division.
Right.
But
And let's
But
not forget,
go ahead.
go ahead.
he didn't fight in a year and a half.
Yeah,
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 absolutely. Yeah, he
absolutely.
was
He
supposed
was
to
supposed
fight
to fight
Tenzou
Tenzou
last year.
last year.
Right.
And there was
And
an
there was an
injury in
injury in
camp,
camp,
and the
and
fight
the
got
fight got
canceled.
canceled.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So yeah,
I'm
I'm
okay
okay
with
with
them
them
stripping
stripping
as
as
long
long
as you
as you
keep
keep
that
that
same
same
energy in
energy in
all other
all other
situations.
situations.
And the
And the
reason I
reason I
say that
say
is
that is
because this
because this
next one
next one
is the
is the
WBC
WBC
makes
makes
Devin
Devin
Haney
Haney
champion in
champion in
recess
recess
um,
um,
because of
because
his
of his
fight with
fight with
Regis
Regis
Prograis
Prograis
and
and
Shakur
Shakur
Stevenson
Stevenson
to
to
fight for the
fight for the
vacant
vacant
135
135
pound
Right.
pound
belt.
belt.
So
So
they're
they're
giving,
giving,
they're
they're
taking the
taking
belt
the belt
away
away
from
from
Charlo,
Charlo,
but
but
Haney
Haney
gets to
gets to
keep his
keep his
status,
status,
even
even
though
though
he's
he's
going
going
up
up
in
in
weight.
weight.
And
And
he's
he's
promised
promised
that
that
he's
he's
gonna
gonna
come
come
down
down
and
and
fight
fight
Shakur right
Shakur right
afterwards.
afterwards.
But how
But
is
how
that
is
any
that any
different?
different?
How does he
How
get
does
to
he
keep
get to keep
his?
his?
I don't know about the politics of boxing, but it is the powers that be, and you got the WBC, WBA, and all these other belts. They're all different sanctions, so they got different rules. So I'm not sure why is that, but maybe once again you're looking at big money fights. Maybe they look at the money of it and say we'll be able to make this up because that's more of an exciting fight. I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, I can't answer that because I don't know how the rules of the sanctions go and why they let one person keep it and why the next person didn't. I'm not sure how that runs.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
just
just
fishy to
fishy
me
to me
because
because
Yeah.
Regis
Regis
Prograis
Prograis
is
is
not a
not a
bigger
bigger
money
money
fight.
fight.
No.
Way
Way
more
more
people know
people know
who
who
Shakur
Shakur
Stevenson
Stevenson
is.
is.
A
A
lot of
lot of
people have
people
no
have no
clue
clue
who
who
Regis
Regis
Prograis
Prograis
is.
is.
Rougarou.
Rougarou.
Right. Right.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
that
that
makes me
makes me
feel a
feel a
little
little
uneasy.
uneasy.
I don't
I
like
don't
that.
like that.
And I'm a
And I'm
big
a big
Haney
Haney
fan. This
fan. This
isn't
isn't
hate,
hate,
Mhm.
but
but
you do
you do
one
one
that
that
way,
way,
you
you
got
got
to
to
do
do
all
all
sides
sides
that way.
that way.
Give
Give
Shakur the
Shakur the
belt,
belt,
and when
and when
Haney is
Haney is
done with
done with
Regis,
Regis,
now you
now you
gotta
gotta
fight
fight
Shakur
Shakur
if you want
if
to
you
be
want to be
undisputed again.
undisputed again.
You see, that's
Straight
what I
like that.
thought. I thought that they were going to strip him of the belt because once again he was the mandatory, Shakur Stevenson. So I thought they was going to strip Haney of the belt. Plus, he went up in the weight size. So with him going up to another division, I thought that automatically makes Shakur Stevenson the champion for whatever that mandatory belt that he's supposed to have been fighting for.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
it
for
should
it
have
him
should
to
have.
have to fight, for him to have to fight for the vacancy, I don't know how that works because remember they did the same thing for the WBC belt when um, Sean Porter had to fight against Ryan Garcia. No, it wasn't Ryan Garcia, excuse me, but it was one of them Garcias. But they fought for the vacant WBC.
Which fight
Which
was
fight
that?
was
He,
that?
he's in a fight with the camp with
What,
What,
Mikey?
with Errol
Mikey?
Spence. With Errol Spence.
They
He's
fought
They
from
fought
Sean
Sean
Porter.
Philadelphia.
Porter?
No, yeah, he's from Philadelphia.
Uh, you
The
know, the
only other
only other
person
person in
in the
the
camp with
camp with
Earl
Earl,
is Frank
Frank
Martin,
Martin,
um,
um,
Ryan,
Anthony Joshua and
Anthony
somebody else.
Joshua,
and
and
Ryan
Ryan
Garcia.
Garcia.
He fought Ryan Garcia.
He didn't
He
fight
didn't
Ryan
fight Ryan
Garcia.
Garcia.
Porter,
No,
No,
yeah,
Ryan
Ryan
for the
Garcia
vacant
Garcia
belt,
won
won
135,
35,
for the vacant WBC.
not against
not
Sean
against Sean
Porter,
Porter,
not
not
Ryan
Ryan
Garcia.
Garcia.
Okay.
Um,
We'll,
Don't make
we'll,
me look
we'll
it up.
yeah, we'll get, or somebody hop in those
comments
comments and correct us on that.
Yeah, somebody help us out.
Um,
But
but moving along, some good news for devinhaney. We talked about a couple of weeks ago. He had a weapons charge. He had a gun charge from getting pulled over. He was the passenger. The gun was under the seat of the driver's seat, but it was his car. But he just had those weapons charges dropped. So
Right.
good news for Haney.
Right.
That's something that's not hanging over him.
Hopefully, once again, we talked about security. Hopefully, he go out and get him some security. Once again, you're a big name person. I understand these people keeping their guns and everything, but so I can't say I blame his father for that. So he had to make better decisions. So and luckily it was in a state where they dropped it. It wasn't somewhere like New York where he had a gun that was registered from Arizona. It was from New York, or it was in his car and he got prison time for that. So like, or jail time, whatever he would have got. So hopefully he just learned his lesson from it, and get some security. All these athletes.
Yeah. I have no problem with him carrying a gun. As long as your paperwork is right. As long as everything is legal.
Absolutely.
But my life matters more to me than whether or not I should or shouldn't be carrying this. These guys are targets now. So live and answer questions later.
Get security.
Agreed. But put your life first.
Absolutely.
So
good for him that he got about that jam. And before we move away from the world of boxing, we got Francis Ngannou announced that Mike Tyson is a part of his camp.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson is training him for the Tyson Fury fight. What you think about that? Does that help his chances against the Gypsy King?
Nah, I don't think that help his chances. All I think that's going to do is bring more butts to the seat. More people going to want to watch because you're going to see Mike Tyson. That's all. Not to mention Tyson Fury was actually named after Mike Tyson. So, it's like now you're trading this guy. Plus, whatever you get Mike Tyson is going to bring a draw. So, just to even mention that, then people are going to watch just to see, because I don't know. I've never seen him fight before. And now just seeing that and hearing that makes me now want to go back on YouTube and see what this guy have, but it's going to bring, it's going to bring people to watch. That's all. So that's going to be exciting for a division that kind of really lacks, the heavyweight division kind of lacks talent outside of really three people, and, that's Anthony Joshua, Wilder, and Gypsy King. So hopefully it brings some more excitement to the division.
The young cat by the name of Anderson, he coming. I want this Jared Anderson. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I think it's Jared Anderson. But young cat, heavyweight. Keep an eye out. I think it helps. If anything, it definitely shines more light on this. It brings more hype to the fight. But in the end, the Gypsy King is just too big. Too much. Yeah.
Right.
So I think he runs away with that.
Yeah.
So
moving along, before we get up out of here, we got to talk a little hoops. It's a quiet time in the NBA right now, so not a whole lot going on. But bags. We did see the bag. The bag drop. And Anthony Davis is now the owner of the richest average annual value contract in NBA history, signing a 3-year, $186 million extension. Was it the right move for the Lakers?
I think so. I mean, because where else the Lakers going to go? Like, number one,
yeah.
First off, I'm happy he got his bag. Chi-Town's finest. All right. Now, I'm happy he got his bag. Last year, he had one of his best seasons. He put in, I believe it was like 26, 13, and also 3 blocks. He was also, you know what I'm saying, one of the workhorses outside of having King James. He was one of the workhorses that brought the Lakers back to the Western Conference Finals. Even though they got swept, they put up good competition, you know what I mean? And then it's like, where else are they going to go from there? Let's say next year, what if LeBron leaves? All right, you know, you got to have something or someone there, you know, to either, you know, attract players to want to come play in LA, you know, but and outside of that, you know, hopefully he can stay, you know, healthy. I know for me, one of the things I always knock on Anthony Davis, and I always call him, you know, half man, half season. Because he ain't gonna play no more than you know 50, 60 of them. But I will say this, and just to give him his props. Last year he played, I believe, 60 games, right?
Did he play that much? He missed a lot.
Yeah. Giannis last year, I believe he only played 65 games, so we'll talk about that. But you know, that guy, he's known for only playing half the season. All right. That's what he's known for, not just that connector brow, but half the season. I said connector brow, not unibrow. Yeah, that's it. But last year he played good. I mean, hopefully that money will help him get a little pep in his step, because although he did put up some good numbers, man, he played like he was old to me last year. You know, like he was on just older, like he lost a step. But you know, like I said, what else the Lakers gonna do? You know, and I'm happy he got that money. And also it's just showing me where the NBA is going, because the NBA is turning more into a world league now. Now you have more money, and now you have these players out here that's getting to the money. So like, you know, not only him, you got what's his name, Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, Jaylen Brown got the bag.
You got the $304 million. I mean, we talking about changing your whole family legacy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's changing the city money.
Man, dog, think about it, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, for you to get, what is it? I think it's like 80 something a year, right? For
60.
It's 62 a year.
Just 60. You know, that's all.
You know what I'm saying? Just 60. Come on, man. That's almost, let's just say, almost $1 million. Well, for him, that's about $2.1 million a game he gonna play next year. Because he ain't gonna play 60 games.
No, not at all.
So, but I'm happy for him. He got that money, man. And you know what I'm saying? The Lakers, like I said, that's the best move, so that way they can keep a superstar there. And plus, man, he showed it. Like I said, he put up 26, I believe 13 and 3 blocks. So he was out there. He did what he had to do to get that money.
I agree. He got a ring. The only knock that you could put on Anthony Davis is him not playing. When he's on the court, it's between him and Giannis is the best power forward in the league. He showed it to you again this year.
Right.
So I agree. It was the right move for the Lakers. There was no other move for them to make. Even if you don't think that he's worth it, you can't let him walk for nothing.
I'm not gonna say
it's a move that you have. I'm just saying for anybody that thinks that it's too much money, he's injured, you probably should have let him walk. Well, you let him walk, you can't replace him. So
and now
it was a move they had to make.
So you got locked in for the next 3 years. So
it was a good move for them. Great move for him.
You know,
I like it. So I'm happy for AD, and I hope he can play more games. You know, we got that new rule next season. You're not allowed for no mental awards unless you play at least 65.
Right, and that's a good thing too. I mean, my thing with him in the Lakers is, hey, you got him locked in for 3 years. If it gets to a point where you need some trade bait, you got a big name where now you'll be able to at least ship him off and try to get some talent over there, you know?
Yeah, thanks. So shout out to him. Let me know in those comments what y'all think. Was that a good move or not? Moving on. My man Giannis, since we talked about him a little bit, this is not really a big basketball story per se, but it it caught my attention. It was a clever line by Giannis, and I respect that man. I'm a Bulls fan. I can't stand the Bucks, but I got nothing but love for Giannis. Um, so he was using his Google Pixel phone. Well, everybody know he's famous for the Google Pixel. He on the commercials and everything. And so fans, they clapped that man on a tweet for not using an iPhone, for using that phone. Giannis had the best comeback clap back tweet you could think of. I'm rocking the Google Pixel phone because they asked me to be the face of the phone for the next 2 years. He's selling them with that one. Hat off, mic drop. I'm using this phone because they paying me to use it. Why are you using yours?
What could you say about that?
Nothing. That shut everybody up. Son, I'm using it because I'm the face.
Let's tell you what the world is today, man. Oh, why ain't you using your iPhone? It don't matter. Some people don't care about phones, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the latest, greatest joint. Obviously, you can tell by my service on the last episode, I don't care about the phone.
That cheesehead ISP.
But we got it together now. But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
while you paying to use yours, I'm getting paid to use mine.
Exactly. What would you do? If you can be a sponsor for someone and you're getting brand new whatever, because you're gonna get the latest, greatest phone too, and you get paid the bag. Hey man, it sounds like a blessing to me.
I'm all smiles rocking. I throw my iPhone on the wall so quick.
You be good.
Shout out to Giannis for keeping it PG, but still sunning them. I love it. Giannis is one of my favorite human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, the Phoenix Suns. They revealed some new uniforms. Did you get a chance to check out those UNCs?
I did.
What you think?
I liked them. I thought they were, I liked them. I thought they were okay. My thing is, man, the NBA got so many uniforms nowadays. It don't matter. It's just another, because they play in hell. What? 20 different uniforms now. This ain't like back in the day where you just had a white
city edition,
a dark jersey away,
association edition, and all of that. Yeah,
all types of stuff, man. They got all types of jerseys now. But for the Suns, I like it because that's just the excitement. New jerseys, new team. That stands for new results, so they say. But
it's got a little bit of an old school look to it, though. The Charles Barkley days with the hard lines by the S on the side of it, kind of make you want the gorilla to come out and do some dunks.
Do some dunks or something. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully they'll be doing some dunks on the floor this year, and
facts.
The new jerseys match to it. Let's just hope they got enough balls over there in Phoenix to get the wins they need.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of shooters over there, and we're gonna like to see what happens. So like I said, I'm excited. Yeah.
So it's a good look. Like you, I'm excited to see what that team is all about. Mm-hmm. And then those jerseys, it's a nice look. So can't wait for that season to start. And see, another great episode, man. But before we wrap it up, my last word, it wasn't in none of the notes or anything like that. But the Jake Paul fight last night against Nate Diaz was entertaining.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch. It wasn't much to talk about as far as the full topic. But shout out to Jake Paul. He did his thing, and he said that he would give him a rematch in MMA. So that's pretty fun.
Well, I put it like this. Jake Paul, I give him the most respect in the world because, I'm for sure back in the day, we used to all have them conversations. If you had a chance to fight Mike Tyson, would you do it? Hey, Jake Paul is living his life and he's fighting any and everybody that he can, and he's getting the bag for doing it.
Yeah.
So
And he's bringing the bag to sport.
and he's actually bringing it back to the sport. Exactly. So he's doing a lot for boxing, man.
Yeah,
You could say what you want, love him or hate him, but he's bringing attention to boxing. So if you love boxing, you got to give him some sort of props for helping out the sport.
Absolutely.
And then I forgot what I had. I had one more. Yeah. How could I forget? Ladies and gentlemen, football is back. We had the Hall of Fame game. The Browns and the Jets. It is officially here. I know most people tuned out, but you know me, I'm a bit nerdy. So I had to watch some of the bench guys. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he put on a show. Definitely impressed me. I was looking to see the Israel 𝒦𝒚 or 𝒦𝒚, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Running back out of Pitt for the Jets. It was fun to watch, but just happy that football is back. It is officially back.
It's back, you know. I just can't wait, like we said, man. You know, first game of the season. I can't wait. Got them guys back there playing your Chicago Bears. You know, we're going to see what love can do. In love, we trust. Let's just put it like that. You know,
He's going to be in for a long day.
Some people and some teams are good for producing certain things. They talk about back in the day how Denver, they were known for producing great running backs. Green Bay are known for producing Hall of Fame, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. So we're going to see if it repeats it 3 times.
You know
the one consistent about history and time, it all changes.
You think so?
It all changes.
Well,
and on that note, I ain't even gonna let you come back. I ain't gonna let you come back because that was a good way to end the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you're still with us, drop us a like, share, subscribe, comment below. From us here on my sports, we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll help.
Hey, phone that froze this time. I can't stand you, Russell. You gonna throw 8 interceptions the first game, you bum. I hate that dude. I don't like his wife either. It's nothing about him I like.
Ladies
and gentlemen, peace.